Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here. It is Dallas Trading Floor, and it is Friday. Friday. The market's down a little bit, but do have some interesting stuff to show you today. We do have some kind of breakouts. Corsair Gaming is breaking out today, and also a stock that is breaking out that I just bought a full position, in one of my accounts in Palantir. So that's kind of interesting. So I have some interesting things to show you on that. And, without lack of further ado, let's get into it. Well, the market is still in a confirmed uptrend, and it is up a little bit, but the S&P is down and the Dow Jones is down. So I kind of want to show you the slide for the Qs. Let's take a look at that one first. This is the QQQ Trust, and this is the Nasdaq 100, basically the top 100 stocks in the Nasdaq. This is where many of the biggest stocks live, like Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, those kind of stocks. They live in this one. We're down a little bit. Today was up. Yesterday, of course, up strongly in 2 days in a row, but it's pulled back a little bit. Seems to be leveling off here, really at about the 325 level. We're still well above the 40-day moving average, so that's good. The 40-day is a little bit above that 305, 310 area, so looking still pretty good. We still seem to be, moving up this nice, this nice line. We haven't really had a break, so it's we still seem to be moving upwards in the market. So I definitely like seeing that action. So, it is a little bit of a pullback today, but it's still looking pretty darn good, all the way around. Also, let's take a look at the SPDR. The SPDR is one of the world's largest ETFs, and it covers the S&P 500. These are kind of the Fortune 500 companies. This is down a little bit today too, as you can see, a little bit down. But still well above the key levels, basically here. It seems to be that we moved over this about the 380 level here, and we pulled up, and it seems like we seem to have sort of a floor here. So potentially in the next week or so, let's see, we may be slowing down a little bit. I hope not, but it seems like this 380 level is key. So if it can hold this 380 level, I think we're going to still be in pretty good shape. Going forward. And, the rally seems to, we still, believe it or not, we're still in a rally. I mean, I can't hardly believe it. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens on this. I want to show you the stock of the day. And this is Palantir. This stock is breaking. I just bought this a few minutes ago. I probably was late. I mean, I probably should have bought it this morning. I was talking to one of the listeners, and we were talking about this, and I got involved doing things. It's up $6.32 today, so hopefully I didn't miss it. I got in right here, basically at the top of this level here. So hopefully, it can hold this level. Strong, 96 relative strength. So we'll see, how that goes going forward. We just don't know how that's going to work. But I just kind of wanted to show you that as well. Just wanted to give you an idea of sort of where I'm at in terms of my portfolio right now. Basically, these are the stocks I'm in. Blank charging, I'm still in it. And I do have a option that is going to be expiring on the 29th. It's a $50 call, so I will get all the money there, which is nice, and I won't get exercised. I still want to be in this Blink charging. I'm also in Progeny, and again, it's up again today. This is about 99% owned by funds. I just can't understand why it's going up so much, but I probably need to even increase my position. This one has done very well for me. Of course, I'm in Tesla. It's sort of treading water at about 8.44. Basically, it's off about 41 cents. Now, we're coming up on earnings. I am overweight in Tesla, so hopefully that wasn't a mistake. But I do think that we may get an initial pullback after the earnings, but I think at least in the midterm, with the CAFE standards for vehicles going up, I think Tesla is very likely to continue on the march upward. Hopefully that's the case. Oppenheimer put the target price on this at about 1,037 in the near term. So hopefully that'll work. I do also have a put spread on Amazon. That seems to be doing well. Anything above anything above 31.30, and I'm in the money, so that's looking fairly good. It's down a little bit today, correcting, but it went up. As you know, that went up tremendously yesterday. General Motors is up again. As the volume on General Motors has been very, very good. I mean, it's up 10% over where it normally is, but the volume is so there is a lot of funds moving into this, and of course there is Palantir, which I did buy a full position in for one of my other accounts besides the small account, and it's up and it's holding at about 31.95 when this was taken. So that's kind of the long and the short of it. So let's get in without further ado to some of the questions. Let me pull up my magical screen here. Pull this right up, and then we'll get right into the questions. So there we go. All right. So let's look at the first questions. Well, we got a lot of people today. That's fantastic. So I'm going to go up to the top and potential cup with handle on Apple and Neo. Let's look at Apple first. Apple has been improving. I got shaken out of Apple, and I'll be, I probably didn't wait long enough, and I probably had it too tight. But I did get shaken out of Apple. Let's take a look to see kind of where we're at. Okay, we're right at the pivot. So, this may be actionable. So this is the daily chart. Let's look at the weekly chart really quick here to see. Yeah, I mean the pivot is right here at 137.98. It's 139.60. So we're right at the pivot. So right now, Apple is absolutely viable. It is got a relative strength of 79, which is one shy of where I normally like to see it at 80. So that's looking good. And again, we've had some good sales numbers again. Apple just keeps on moving. It's a great company, and we do have increasing fund ownership. Not as much as we had, but it's definitely in there. So, the checklist is 66. This is my minimum. So the question is it time to start nibbling once again at Apple? Well, chart certainly says that's the case. We're going to go back to the daily chart here, but we had this pullback on the cup, and then the weekends were taken out, and they've been pulled up. So this might be a time that you could possibly start moving into Apple. So I very much like that. Let me put for everybody out there. I'm just going to put on to let's put the let's see if I can put a banner up for that. Let's see the buy point for Apple AAPL is equal to, and it is going to be for the Apple buy point 137.98. So we're definitely looking good there on that. So if you wanted to move into Apple, this might not be a bad time. To move into Apple, I would be pretty careful with my stop. I would set it pretty tight. But we're right here. As you can see, we're pulling right above. That's right into the buy zone. Now, typically, the best way to buy it is to use the buy point plus 10 cents. So basically, 137.98 plus 10 cents, or about 138.08. So we're at 139. So we're definitely right in the buy zone for Apple. So that's looking very good, actually. That one was looking very, very good. So let's get back to what was the other one? Neo. Okay, let's look at Neo. And Neo may be pulling up as well. Let's look at Neo, see if we got a buy point on that one. This is yeah, we're definitely pulled up. We're above the buy point on this one. We're really out of the buy zone on Neo. For Neo, the buy zone here is 57.20. We're at 61.99 right now. We've bounced above the 10-day line. So if you bought it here, it wouldn't necessarily be bad, but we are a little extended. So basically we are a little bit extended on Neo as we speak. I mean, it's it's just a little bit above where. So I'm going to put Neo is extended at 61.91. So we are extended. We are extended at this point. So we definitely are extended at 61.91. So really the buy point for Neo. The buy point on Neo is is 57.20. Is about 57.20. So that is. So here's the thing. If you want to properly buy this now, you probably are a little bit too extended. So here's my advice, in for what it's worth, and it's probably worth nothing. I think that Apple, definitely you can buy it right now. Neo, let's see if it may pull back a little bit. It's a little bit extended from that proper buy point. So that's my point. I mean, Neo is terrific, but I think that of these two, I think you want to go with the Apple if you're looking to size into a position today. I think it's probably Apple over Neo, just because of the fact that Apple is in a buy zone. Okay, what's going on with Palantir? Well, I don't know what's going on with Palantir. I did buy it today. I had been shaken out of this thing twice. Can you believe it? I've been shaken out of this thing twice. So let's look at the weekly chart for Palantir really quickly here to kind of take a look here. But it's got a 96 relative strength. There's just been a lot of buying in there, and we're almost above its all-time high, which, if this thing works, is right about here, and that's 33.12. So we're at 32.48. We're up, just about ready to make an all-time high. Currently, for the week, it's up $6.82, and for the day, it's up $6.46. So it made almost all of its gain today. But the all-time high for Neo for Palantir is 33.50. Currently, it's at 32.46. Now, can you buy it here? Well, I bought it here, but first of all, I've been following the stock. But second of all, we have very, very heavy volume here above this is an exponential, by the way, and this little red line here is the 40-day line. So we have significant buying above this. So that means that there's not a lot of weak hands left. It's almost all strong hands now, and so that is why Now, the thing about it though is that here's the thing: what you want to do after buying it, you want to set your stop loss for tomorrow, basically at this level right here, below right below the spike up. So you want to set your stop loss basically about 26 here. That's where your best stop loss is going to be for Palantir. Now, is it viable here? Well, I did buy it. Its checklist is okay, 7 out of 9. Got excellent. It's only 9% funds in here, but there's 107 of them. The industry is not as good as I would like it, 106 out of 196, but it's still very strong. So here's the thing. I mean, this is not it's typically difficult when you are essentially chasing like this. I mean, because they can pull back, and they probably will pull back. But I do believe that it is above, all of the major. Now it's very extended, so it's very high. It's very much above the 10-day, the 21-day, and the 40-day. So this is probably likely to pull back to about 30, and then hopefully it will continue its march upward. But that is the situation for Palantir. All right, so let's take a look at people on TikTok. Thank you for waiting, everybody. So appreciate it. I'm going to go kind of down there to the top, see if I can, let me see if I can get that up here. Let's see. Wait, I have a question. Okay. What stock to invest in right now? Well, there's a lot of good ones. Palantir, I would say that's actually a pretty good, that's a pretty good one. I would say that's a pretty good one to go with. I'm just looking for questions on TikTok here. And let's see if I can pull that back up. If you don't realize that your stocks went down by a bunch and it's too late, you should sell it. Well, actually, the way I view it, and the way I view it with the with the 7% rule, and what that is that what the 7% rule is. Let's kind of answer somebody here. What the 7% rule is that you want to buy it and then you want to take hopefully no more than a 7% loss on anything. So, if you always want to limit your losses as much as you can, obviously, to about 7%. But in this case with Palantir here, we want to put our stop loss basically right at the bottom of the of today's spike here. So the ideal stop loss for this, if you did buy this one, would be at about 26 or so. So let's see if that's exactly right. Yeah, 26.02. So basically about 26. That's where you want to put your stop loss for Palantir. And I do agree, Palantir is a good one. Is it still too late to buy Palantir? It is extended. I don't necessarily think it would be bad, but I think that if you're going to buy Palantir, you probably want to do it relatively quickly, because if it moves a little bit too far above this, about 35, I think it's going to be more difficult to buy. But right now, I do think, even though it's a little extended, I think you might want to possibly look at it. Like your show. Oh, hey, thank you. I was watching it since it says 14. I'm not sure what to buy. Please advise. Okay. Well, wow, that's the fact that you're looking at it at all is amazing to me. There's a lot of things to buy. First of all, what I would recommend doing before you get started, I would recommend you looking into a book that potentially could help you out a lot, and that is How to Make Money in Stocks: A Winning System, Good Times Are Bad by William O'Neill. And if you're looking on TikTok, it's very easy to get a link to that. All you have to do is go to my profile, click the link, and you'll see the Dallas Trading Floor Jim's Learn to Trade bookshelf. Hit that, and you'll see the book. But it's How to Make Money in Stocks: A Winning System, Good Times Are Bad. That's definitely probably the best book to read, the first book to read. And then if you're under 20 or so, you want to try to start saving every dollar that you get, or every piece of currency that you get. You want to take about 30 cents of that, and you want to put that aside and then potentially start investing it. So if you do that, believe me, and you start an age like that, you probably will be wealthy by the time you're 40, at least more wealthy than I ever was at that age. That's for sure. So that's kind of a good way to go if you're interested in stocks. Thanks for the comment. I so appreciate it. Did a buy stop limit order into WYY at 1363? Your thoughts at adding? Oh, nice. Thanks for bringing this up. I really like the fact that you're looking at the buy stop limit, because this is an easy way to buy a stock and you don't have to watch it every day. So let's look at that chart. And wowie kazowie. Yeah, look at that. 96. This is great, man. This is great. Yeah, absolutely. There's a cup with handle at 1353. So let's see. You bought it 13. Wow, you bought right on the right place. Wow, congratulations, Matt. That's a good buy. That's an excellent buy. Yes, sirree, Bob. That is good. Or I should say yes, sirree, Matt. That is a very, very good buy. There's going to be a secondary buy point here. It's on the weekly chart, and that's at 1588. So thoughts of adding at 1599? I absolutely think you should consider adding at 1599. That's perfect. That's perfect. Wow, this is very, very, very good. Let's look at that checklist. Wow, it's 8 out of 9. That is just looking great. 20. It's a relatively thin stock, but there's 20 funds in it. Industry is 61 out of 197, so that's great. Wow, I think you did very, very well on this. Look at that, and look at the volume spike. It right as it pushed past. Let's look at the daily here. right as it pushed past the buy point, there was a volume spike. So that is just very, very good buying. I think that you're going to do very well on this. Here's what the thing. Once you accumulate a position in it, start moving your stop loss up so that if it does pull back on you, you're going to get all the good money on it. Fantastic. This is great. I definitely think that you should consider adding at $15.99. Now, when you pyramid in, typically the way you want to do it is that your first buy should be probably your heaviest buy, maybe one position or maybe a half position. Your secondary buy should be pretty much half of that first buy in at about, if you go into the full position, a half position, or if you or if you're going in with a half position and a quarter position, and then your last buy should be probably about the same. So you kind of want to go in 50%, 25%, 25%. But I think that you've done terrific on this. I think this might be a real winner, Matt. Thank you for bringing it up, and you bought absolutely at the right level, with the buy stop limit order. So wow, fantastic! Thank you for sharing that. That is great. I wish I had done that. Gosh, I mean, I'm it's funny. There's so many good things to buy right now, and I'm not in as many things as I'd like. It's just lack of you can always buy more. There's always stuff on Palantir. Stop loss for Palantir. Let's look. Here's the thing I'm going to show you with Palantir. Here's where I would put my stop loss for Palantir. And I'm going to go to the daily chart here to show you this. My stop loss on Palantir is going to be right about at this level, right below that bar. So 25.79 would be a very, very good stop loss for Palantir. So so PLTR stop loss is equal to, and I'm going to say this, it's going to be right about, I would say 25, I would say about 25.90. So 25.90. So let me add that. There we go. And so basically at 25.90, that's going to be right about at this level here. Oops. Hopefully that'll come in. There we go. So right about that level there. And the reason that you do that, of course, is because this is the move. Now it probably will pull back a little bit, and it will become, it's a little bit of a steep slope. So it may pull easily back to 30, but I do think that once it's moved above this area of resistance here, I think it's moving. I think it's going to move higher. It may only fall back to this resistance here, but I think your ideal stop loss is going to be about 25.90, and of course that's right here where that's right here where that bar is. So very, very good. I hope that I wish you luck on that one. I think you might have a good winner on your hands there. So let's see. Let's go to the next question. Hi, Jim. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Thoughts on Apple and Neo? I talked a little bit about Apple. Here's my thoughts on them. I think with Neo, I think it's a little too extended. I mean, you can buy it at this level if you do put your stop loss on very tight. But I think Apple is showing an ideal place to start nibbling. The question with Apple is, and this is the thing with Apple, it has to be, it has to stay above the buy point. This is very common with stocks. They will come up to the buy point. It looks like they're going to go through, and then they pull back and they test, and then they go back through. But it looks as if we definitely have some resistance right at this level. But I do believe that we can stop nibbling. I'd like to see it move. I'd really like to see it move above 140 on this to buy it. So ideally, ideally, what I'd like to see for Apple is, I'd like to see that ideally Apple buy stop limit order for 140 140. Yep, let's do that. Yeah, 140. Say about 140.75. That's kind of, I think you definitely can start. I just want to see it move through the resistance here. That's the main that's the main thing that I want to see it move through. I want to see it move through I want to see it move through the resistance right here at this level. I want to, by moving through at this level, I think that we're in a good buy zone. But there's a resistance right here, so this is kind of the area that I think would make sense. So buy stop limit order at and I put stoop. Sorry about that. Need to watch my spelling here. Golly. So let's see if I can. Well, but anyways, buy stop limit order for 140.75. So that's kind of what I see. With NEO, I think we're a little bit too far extended. So I don't know if we want to be doing that with NEO right now. I think we may be a little bit late on NEO in order to do that. So that's how I'm seeing it. All right, question from Alex. Thank you. VC and GME. Let's look at VC first, kind of to see what we've got here. Vestron Corporation manufactures cockpit electronic products for cars. Interestingly enough, wow, it's off a little bit today. Don't know this company very well. Let me kind of see. It's got a nice relative strength at 91. I'm liking that. That's for sure. Let's kind of look to see if it makes the smell test. Yeah, 799. Ownership is very good. And do we have increasing sales? That's the question. Let's go to the weekly chart. Yes, we do. We have increasing sales. I'm liking that, and I'm liking the fact that it's 75% fund ownership and it's increasing funds. So that's looking good. Now, unfortunately, the last true base on this was a consolidation base at 84.50. We are currently above that quite a bit. So can you buy it here? Well, this is not the ideal place to buy it, to be honest with you. We're on the 10-day line, so we're not too far extended from that. Here's the thing: when you have a pattern like this, where you don't have necessarily a base pattern to come off of, and you want to buy it off of one of the moving averages, here's the thing: you want to look at this 10-day line. It's this little pink line, and you don't want to buy it if it's more than about 10% above that line. And right now it isn't. Right now it's sort of hugging that 10-day line. So you could add to a position here. It wouldn't be my favorite spot to do it. I would probably wait until it pulls back to here, which is the 21-day line at about 134.65. So that's kind of what I would be looking to do, see if it bounced off there. It is moving down. So you don't want to buy it when it is moving down. So here's the thing. I think you're going to have to watch this VC. I think you need to set a limit, set an alert. And I'm going to put in an alert there. I'm basically going to put in an alert right at this line at the 21-day average. So I'm going to set an alert on that for myself. There we go. And I'm going to see when it falls below that line and then reverses. So that's kind of what you want to do. But right now you probably got to watch listed, and you can't. It's not really an ideal place to buy it. Let's look at GME, and that's GameStop, I believe. GME. And GameStop it is. GameStop it is. Wow, look at this. I cannot explain. I cannot explain this chart. I absolutely cannot explain this chart. I do not know why we've had this. This might be a blow off top. This might be a short squeeze. Let me just take a look to see what the news says for this, and see if see what's going on. Why that would be the case. Well, I just don't know why it's doing this. This, based on what I'm seeing here, this looks like, okay, I don't know why this largest volume. Okay, so, and it's making loss. I think that this is potentially, yeah. Okay, so this is a short This is a short squeeze, okay? So what I think is probably going to happen on this one is I think it's going to pull back massively in the next few days. So if you're not in this thing, I wouldn't get in it because I think it's a short squeeze. But if you are in it, here's what you need to do. You need to set your stop loss up immediately. And I would set your stop loss at about at least 60, maybe even 62, because this thing is probably going to pull back based on the fact that there's a short interest of 4 days plus 35%. So I think that a lot of people are shorting this for some reason. They ran out of shares to sell. So I think this is a classic short squeeze. That's what it looks like to me. So out of these two, either VC or GME. I think VC you got a watch list, and GME. I think that you it's not a good time to buy this one because I think it's a short squeeze. So you got to be really careful. But if you're in this one, push your stop loss up maybe to about 60, 62, 63, and that might help a little bit because I do think it's a short squeeze on GameStop. What's causing Palantir to go higher? Good question. Don't know, but they are introducing some new software on Monday. So and that may be in anticipation of that. But it has a lot of VCs in it for being an IPO. So I can't tell you. I don't think it's. I'm sure it's not a short squeeze though. What's the best? Okay, what's the best learnings about stocks? Start to get with the book How to Make Money in Stocks: The Winning System, Good Times or Bad by William O'Neill, and it's available on the www Dallas Trading Floor website, so you can go there. Definitely to get it at the or let's see, there we go. You can go to www Dallas Trading Floor just to get a link to the How to Make Money in Stocks: Winning System, Good Times or Bad. And it's by William O'Neill, and it is really a classic text. It's definitely I read the original edition over 20 years ago. It is just it helped me make a whole lot of money in the market, and just very, very good, very, very good all the way around. Let's look at Blink Charging. And again, I do have a position in Blink Charging. It's been pulling back as of late, BLNK. But I do think that, I've been in this one since the summer, and it definitely has pulled back. It looks like it's bounced off the 21-day exponential. Let's take a look at it. Yeah. Okay, so we pushed up, and then we pulled right back to that 21-day. Seems to be right at that 21-day line, and hopefully, there we go. Seems to be right at that 21-day line. That's that green line. It's still got a relative strength of 99. Definitely been a little bit of selling. I don't know. I trimmed my position a little bit on this one, but I'm still in it. And let's look at the weekly chart. It just went up so quickly, so fast. So it's probably going to have to consolidate here a little bit. Between about 40 and 50 before we'll get any more upward movement. But is there an ideal place for this one? I'm not sure there is at this point. The checklist is still pretty good, 66%. We do have 34 funds in it. That's looking good. The sector is really good, 28 out of 197. So that's very good. It's in the consumer products. I don't know if that's you really consider this consumer products, but so is there a place to buy it? No, I think we're going to have to wait a little bit on this one to get back to a place where we could buy this one. Potentially, let's see. Potentially, we could buy it if it off the 21-day line. But here's the thing: let it wait. Wait on this one. Put this on the watch list. See if it forms a base. It doesn't really have a base right now. See if it forms a base, and then I think you can buy it. But right now, I don't think it's a good time to buy Blank, even though I do own it. But I bought it at a lot less than that number. Hi, Jim. Great advice. Thank you. Home is doing great, and good. I secured a position at 22.20, and want to get more. What's a good buying point recommendation? Okay. Well, home is we're fortunately we're coming, we may be at the start of a new bull market because there's some very good opportunities out there. I just want to show you the chart, of course, and let's see if we have a follow-on buy point here. We definitely did nicely Well, I say we. I take no credit. Akuma, you did it all at 22.20. You bought it just almost exactly you bought it just right before you bought it right before the buy point on the pivot. Very good. That is excellent. You are right. And then it's pulled now. It's a little bit extended now. It's a little bit above that right now. But where could you buy that? Well, let's see if it pulls back to about, and I don't know if this will, because it looks like this, if it pulls back to about 24.50 and reverses, I think you could buy it. Unfortunately, right now, well, you could buy it at this level. It's a little extended. But you always try to want to buy it on a upward motion, and it definitely is having that now. So, and we do have good volume. So there we go. Yeah, you could add at this point. It's a little bit high. I'd probably prefer it to wait for it to settle a little bit and then start moving up again and buy it. But you definitely could add at this level. So congratulations, and I hope you end up making a lot of money on this one, because I think you will. Because I think now the fact that it's gone above that 20 through 92, I think it's going higher. I think you're going to make some money. So that's exciting. Appreciate very much the comment. Let's look at GRFS and take a quick look there. GRFS. Okay, and that is a Spanish manufacturer, plasma derivatives. I am not familiar with this company. And we'll be honest with you, I am not familiar with this. It's an ADS, so it trades in Europe, but it trades as an American depository receipt on the New York Exchange. It's got a relative strength of 8. And you're probably not going to like me hearing you say this, but I think that this is just not what you want. And the reason I think it is because, if you look over time, we have a downward trending chart. It's not a steep downward trending chart, but it's a downward trending chart nevertheless. I don't think we really want to buy this until at least it moves above 21.68. Currently, it's at 19. So we might want to watch this one, but we don't want to buy this one immediately. It's got increasing sales. That is good. And we do have, a fair number of funds in it. But here's the thing. It just doesn't look that strong right yet. It's got, a good checklist, 6 out of 9. And the fund ownership is definitely good. And it's not increasing, but it's holding steady about 196. So that's good. The industry this is a problem, medical and ethical drugs. The rank is not good, 170 out of 197, at least as of now. So here's the thing. I think you got to watch this one. And I think you have to wait on it until, if you want to buy this one, I think you have to wait until it moves above 21.68. I really believe that. Right now, I just don't think it's trending right. It's a little bit too close to the 200-day moving average. The lines are starting to look better, but it does look like it's constrained, and it's quite slow moving. So there definitely is resistance at 20, and it's at 1905 right now. So there's definitely resistance at 20. So, this thing really, you probably don't even want to buy it until it gets to basically right below 22 here, or about 21.89. That's my guess. So that's what I have to say, Will. I would shelve this one for right now. Possibly, just put it on the watch list. If it moves above, if it moves above that 21, then you might want to consider it. But right now, it's slow moving. It's got a low relative strength versus the market, and it just doesn't look as promising, shall we say. Also, thoughts on, wow, we've got a lot of stuff penned. Let's look at TSM. Of course, that's Taiwan Semiconductor. The interesting thing about Taiwan Semi is that I used to work in Silicon Valley, and I used to analyze semiconductor companies for one of the large consulting firms. And that was one of my gigs, one of my many gigs amongst things. My kind of vagabond career. But Taiwan Semi, anytime there's an uptick in the overall semiconductor market, Taiwan Semi benefits because they manufacture for a lot of other companies out there. They're manufacturing a lot of the Apple chips right now, for instance. They are a worldwide company, and so it's been very strong. Now, here's the thing about them: they It's off a little bit today, it looks very, very good. I mean, it still looks very, very good. It's got this nice. It's moving right up the 40-day line. It's got a relative strength of 91, and we're starting to, we're seeing some very nice buying. So the institutions are definitely moving into the stock as well. Now, traditionally, this is a little bit of a misnomer. It says funds 9% here. Well, typically with Taiwan Semi, a lot of the shares are held in trust with the government of the Republic of Taiwan. So this is not totally accurate here on this. I just happen to know this company particularly well. Now, can you buy it at this level? Well, I definitely think it's probably going to continue moving up. It's up $3.93 today. Is there a really great place to buy this? Well, not really. What happened is it got a little bit too far extended above the 10-day line, and then you see it pulled back. Now, this is something you always got to look at. Let me show you that. I wasn't showing you that chart properly. Okay, this is something you always got to look at. You definitely want to buy stocks where the average prices are above this 10-day line and above the 21-day line. That's very, very good. But the further they get from this, if they get about 10% from this line, typically they're going to pull back, because what you really want ideally are these tick marks hugging this 10-day line. So it's a little bit above that. So it's not surprising that it's pulled back. Very, very likely it'll pull back to about the 125 level, and then it will reverse higher. So right now, strategically, you probably don't want to buy it on a pullback, but wait as it's pulling back. But the minute it reverses, and I think it will reverse based on this chart at about 125. And if it does, then you could possibly get into it. Then you could possibly get into that issue. Now, I'm not going to cover some of the other ones. I'm going to try to maybe come back to some of these questions, because other people out there probably want questions answered too. So thank you very much for the question. I will try to come back to some of your other ones like Pinterest. What do you think about Plug Power? Good for long-term or hype? Good question. Well, I'm a technical investor, so in terms of like long-term, short-term, I typically leave it up to the charts for me, because I have a lot of trouble predicting the future. But I can look at the charts and see what it's telling us. It looks as if we're in a trading range on this one between basically about here, which is about 68, and about 60. There's a consolidation here. There we go. This is sort of the area that it's trading. It's trading in. Now, currently in this channel, it is trading down. It's very likely to. It's very likely to. If it goes above about here, about 68.50, then it probably will continue higher. But it may be in an even tighter consolidation between in this little box here. Okay, more than likely what's going to happen, we're going to watch to see if this thing goes above this box. This is probably viable if it hits 69.30 or better. Then it's probably going to go higher. But right now it's in this consolidation here, and as you can see, it's in this lower box, and then if it moves through this resistance, then it's likely to go into the upper part of this box. And the reason I know that box is there is, of course, because of this line here. We have decreasing volume, but it's still very high because it's above the 40-day average. So what am I saying here? Is it a good buy long term? I don't know about long term, but I think short term, if it moves above about 60, moves about above 68, then on good volume, I think then it might be it might be good for some more motion. But you definitely can buy it above about, but waiting for it to move above about 68 on heavy volume. All right, let's see. Okay, so thoughts on Zynga, ZNGA. Zynga, and it is developer of social games. So kind of a cool area to be in. It pulled up today tremendously. 1071. Wow, Kazawi. You know, this one maybe watch this. No, it's still a little bit early for me on this one. It's still a little bit early for me on this one. It's 58 relative strength, but we did have some nice volume coming into it. Let's kind of look to see on the smell test on this one. Yeah, okay, 6 out of 9. So that definitely makes that 1.9. Okay, so it's dropping a little bit. Industry and sector 84. Is that viable? Well, I would watch this one. I probably wouldn't buy it. I want a little bit more strength, but there is a buy point on it on a double bottom, which is a very, very, very good chart pattern. And it's broken out. Would I buy this? Wow, this is hard to believe. You know what? I think this might be a buy. As strange as that sounds. So I'm going to put Zynga. I'm going to buy. I definitely think that's a buy. I definitely think that's a buy. It's a little bit beyond the buy zone for me. I'm actually looking over the chart, but you know what? I think that might be good. So let me comment on this one. Let me put a let me put it out here on the put up something here for so Zynga in here. Zynga, Z-Y-N-D-Y-Z-N-G-A, Zynga, buy point equal to, wow, look at that. On a double bottom, that's a very good buy point, 991. On double bottom. Wow, that's actually very good. So it's the Zynga buy point is 991. Put that in there. There we go. So the Zynga buy point here is 991, and I definitely think this is buyable. Wow, this is a really good one. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. I'm going to put this down actually on my watch list because ZYNGA or ZNGA symbol, and the buy point on this one is 991. So it's definitely buyable right now. So that is very, very good. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. That's very, very good. I definitely like this one. So yeah, thank you. All right, so let's see. Let's look at Neo. Okay, let's look at space. Let's look at space, which is, of course, as we all know, space is Virgin Galactic, SPCE. Now, I was in space earlier last year in the first quarter, but I haven't really been in it since. It seems like it's getting to the point where it may be viable once again. Let's look at the weekly chart first on it to see. This is a highly speculative stock, so don't get me wrong on it. There is a buy point on it, though. Interestingly enough, at 27.55. Currently, it is selling for 34.28, so it's very extended from its buy point. But it has a relative strength of 84. Look at that! Isn't that interesting? And we have definitely some funds coming in it. The question is, yeah, okay. Earnings are in 14 days. Here's what I think you could do on this one. Here's a strategy that you might want to look at on this one. I think this is going to run up. I think this one is going to run up before earnings. So on this one for space, what I would do here is I would SPCE sell before, and then what is the day of earnings? Okay, here's the thing. I would earnings is coming up on 2/25. 2221. So I would sell space before, if I had it, I would sell it before 2/25. Ooh, not well. Maybe maybe that's wrong. Maybe that's a little bit in the future there, isn't it? Let me let me put it up there better. I made a typo, 2021. So that's definitely better than that. So here's why I was at it. Why would I sell it before one of these days I'm going to actually get this right. 21 2020. So that's so the earnings are coming in 225, excuse me, 225. There we go. So finally get it right here. So if I own space right now, here's what I would do. I would consider selling it on 225 to 2021. And why do I say that? Well, here's the way space is traded for me. Typically it runs up, and then the day before earnings, that's when it kind of peaks out. So I think you could make a nice little run on this one, possibly up to as much as $40 or maybe even $42. That's how I think it's going to run up. Who knows? I mean, you never can tell. But this has been the sort of the tradition with space. It runs up, and then it pulls back. So right now it's in that run-up phase, you see, because it runs up, pulls back, runs up, pulls back. And each time it does this, you can see each time it does this, each time it does it on earnings. See that? So we're coming up to earnings in basically a few days. So basically what's happening is there's a run-up, there's a run-up and then a pullback, and a run-up and then a pullback. That's sort of how it runs. So it goes up, back, oops, back, up. So we're in a phase right now. We're in an up phase. So here's the thing: if you want to take a flyer on this one and risk a little bit of money, you could buy it right now. Set your stop loss at about 2.5% below where you bought it. Move it up, and then sell it before 225. That's how I would handle that. You might be able to make a little bit of money before earnings. Typically with Space or Virgin Galactic, it typically makes its highest price right the day before earnings. So that's a way that you could possibly milk a little bit of money out of there. Is it a long-term investment? Nah, not so much. But it may be a good short-term play, kind of fun play to make. So that's what I would do with Virgin Galactic SBCE. Thanks, Wilson. Let's look at VUZI. Let's look at the chart on that one. Okay. VUZI. And, okay. Manufactures molecular and binocular video headwear. Gosh, I don't even know heard of this company, but that sounds really cool, though. It's a relatively cheap stock. It's $12. Now, typically, I like to buy stocks only if they're above $10, and it definitely is. And look at that. It's got a relative strength of 98. That's interesting. Okay, well, this is kind of a cool area of, this is sort of a cool area. This is sort of the virtual or augmented reality area equipment. Now, only 10% funds in it, so it's relatively thin, and it's not a very big company. It's only got 28 funds in it, but 98 relative strength. Checklist is looking very good at 8 out of 9. Wow. Okay, so this is definitely a watch lister. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Now, is there a buy point on this one? Well, there was actually a cup formation. So the buy point is 531. We're above that. We're above 531. So would I buy it at this level? Well, it's moved above its all-time high at 1077. So it's a little bit extended here. Wait for this thing to pull back, but I think if it pulled back to about 1077 and then reversed, I think you could possibly buy this thing. Interesting. I've never heard of this company, but I appreciate you giving me this interesting company. I'll definitely look into it a little bit more. But here's the thing: based on the chart, I think you can buy this thing. If it's right now, it's a little bit extended at 12. If it pulls back a little bit and then reverses above about 1077, I think you might be able to buy this one. But don't commit don't commit very much capital to this one. Don't go in any more than about a half position or so. What do I mean by a half position? Well, let's say you had a $10,000 portfolio. You divide it by 8. There's 8 full positions, and then you take half of that. So If you were looking to go into this and you had and your value of your portfolio was $10,000, you would want to go in with no more than a 1/16 of that. Okay, so only really relatively small investment on that one, if possible. But it's a very interesting VUZI. So definitely like it. Definitely like that chart. All right, Jim, should I sell my GM before earnings? That's a very good question, Kyle. Here's the thing. Here's what I would do. If you're up 20%, if you're up more than 20% on it, then I think you should hold it. Okay, this is my advice here. If you're up more than 20% on your investment, hold it. Okay, if you are not quite at 20%, maybe sell half of your position. I do think there may be a little bit of a pullback, but here's the thing about GM. GM is being accumulated, and that's very obvious. So let's look at the chart on GM. GM is being accumulated by the big boys. And okay, so let's look at the daily chart on it. All right, I don't think this one's going to fall all that much, but it can move. It can move down to about this level here. Oops, about this level here. This is about $51 level. It is currently today. It's up 32 cents. For the week, it's up $5.53. But the most important thing, I believe, is essentially it is when it moved above 50, it's sort of now into the all-time high category, and the relative strength keeps moving up. There's strong accumulation going on in this in the stock. The sales have been somewhat disappointing, and this is primarily because of the pandemic. People just haven't been able to get out to the dealers. But interestingly enough, we have a lot of funds moving in. This is very interesting for a stock this sort of retro. Normally we don't have a stock. We have a lot of funds in it, but normally they don't pile into it. And this is a significant number of funds that have moved into it. It's 44% owned by funds right now. It's got strong cash flow, $15.14 per share, which is really good. The return on equity is 18%, so that is excellent too. So here's the thing. One of the things I do think that they're going to have I think they're going to have good numbers. So if you consider selling all, I wouldn't sell it all. I would sell maybe if you're a little bit concerned, sell 50%, because I do think this one probably will continue to move higher based on the fact that the economy is going to be reopening, and there's just a lot of pent-up demand for vehicles, and there really is. All right, thoughts on SPWR? I've traded several times, looking for the next buy point. Let's look at this one for Dinesh. Goodness gracious, let's look at this one. SPWR. Okay, SPWR is SunPower. Boy, this is good. I'd forgotten about SunPower, but boy, I haven't traded this one myself. I wish I had it. I wish. You know what? This, unfortunately, there's no really clear buy point on this one, but this is stellar. Yeah, there's no clear buy point. Here's the thing about it right now. It's at 47.21. I think this is a little bit too far extended. You see, here's the problem. It's extended quite a long way from the 10-day line. The 10-day line's right here. Okay, so here's the thing. Even though it's got just everything going for it, look at that. Look at those bars. Here's the thing. I think you're going to have to wait for this to pull back, possibly to about 40, below 40. If this thing pulls back below 40 and then reverses, I think you could definitely buy it. It's a little bit extended. Well, it's actually a lot extended. You see, it's extended basically by about this much from here down to here. So it's quite extended. So here's what I would do. I'd wait for it to pull back below that $40 level and then hopefully reverse. So I think it's an excellent stock. The checklist is very good, 6 out of 9. The fund ownership is good. It's 69%, and this is funds. It's got 325 which is very good. What's really stellar about this one, of course, is the industry rank. That is just, it's number one. So note to self, note to self, if you're in the top 10 of industries, sectors, you're investing in those, your chances of getting a super winner are much, much better. So it doesn't get any better than this. It's number one out of 197 sectors. So this is a great area to be in. Let's just see if there's anything else in this sector that we can look at. There's just so many good ones in the sector. SPI Energy. Let's take a look at that one. And that's way up. That's not the best chart. I think SunPower is much better. Yeah, look at this one. This one, Daku New Energy, DQ. This is good. This is a Chinese company, Chinese solar panel maker. Of course, Sunworks. Yeah, it's a little bit choppy. Look at that. Wow, Wikazawa. This is a Chinese manufacturer too. So really, I think that you're just in a really, really great sector here. But here's the thing. I would wait for it to pull back a little bit, maybe below about that $40 level, and then see if it reverses. Unfortunately, there's not really a good classic buy point on SunPower, I'm afraid, but it's a good stock. All right, so let's see. A few minutes chat. We can run to this. What do you think about RTP? And this is probably the last one for today. So let's look at RTP. RTP is the one we want to look at, and that is Revent Tech. And this is absolutely right out of the box. I wouldn't recommend buying this one. And the reason is it has nothing to do with the stock. It just has to do with the fact that it is just such a new issue. I mean, it's literally, it's been around for a month. So it hasn't even formed an IPO base yet, by the way. So here's the thing on this one. I think you just got to watch this one. This is this is a blank check company. You know what? I don't think you want to be on the SPAC. Here's why I don't invest in SPACs. A SPAC is essentially, it's a sort of a blind pool waiting for an investment, and that's a good thing. But I just like to know what they're invested in before I invest in them. So I can't really give you any read on this at all. I really can't. I typically don't invest in SPACs. In the IPOs that I do, if the SPAC becomes an IPO, I many times will invest in it, but only after 3 months. So there's been a few exceptions. Palantir was one of them. I've been in and out of Palantir several times. Been knocked out several times. But that's kind of my take on it. Okay, so last question. Thoughts about GME, GameStop? Well, I think we have a short squeeze. So you probably don't want to get into this one. What happens with a short squeeze is that a lot of people will short the stock, and then for some reason, usually the stock goes up, it has good earnings. The stock will go up instead of the shorts wanting to go down. Then the shorts will then have to cover their positions, and that causes a blow off top in it. And I think that's sort of what we have with GameStop. I don't think it's because of the earnings or anything else. I do think that we have a blow off top that has been brought about by a short squeeze. So be very careful. Don't invest in a company that's going through a short squeeze because they go way up and then they pull way, way back. So be very, very careful. If you're in the stock, if you're in GME, push your stop loss up very close to where it is now. If it closes, I don't know where GME is right now, but let's look at it. GME, yeah. With the GameStop, you want to set your stop loss above 60, maybe 62 or so. It's 65 right now, because I think this one is probably going to pull back hard. And when it pulls back, you want to be out because it's probably going to fall. And I think it's probably going to fall, at least based on this chart, down to about the $23 or $24 level, maybe lower. I don't know. But this thing is probably going to pull back. I think this is a short squeeze. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you so very much for taking a look at my little show. If you want to get more information on how to trade stocks and sort of a good place to start learning about, what I'm talking about, the canceling method. This is the investment that was invented by William O'Neill. You can go to the website www.Dallas Trading Floor, and then there's a Jim's Learn to Trade bookshelf. Hit that, and you'll see the link to this book. But it's called How to Trade how to make money in the market, a winning system, good times or bad. Very, very worth your while. Now, if you're on TikTok, it's even easier to get to this. You don't even have to go to my website. All you have to do is go to my profile, hit the link, and you will see it on the menu, and you can just push the button and you'll be good to go there. Also, I would very, very much appreciate it. It helps me very, very much if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, and that's youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. And if you can hit that subscribe button, and if you're on TikTok, just go to my profile, hit the link, and you can also subscribe to me on YouTube. And the advantage of that, of course, is that if you're subscribed on YouTube, you're going to see all the charts and graphs that are up that I'm showing. By the way, in about 30 minutes after the end of this live, the whole program will be up on YouTube so that you can take a look at it if you missed anything. But until tomorrow, thanks and happy trading.